I'm in Dreamsville by Henry Mancini. Tony Winston here at Jazz Piano College. And my goal in most of these videos is to teach you the basics of harmony and jazz theory by teaching songs. And usually I try to teach good songs. And this is really an outstanding song. I don't know why it's not more of a standard. I think it was back in the day, maybe when it was written, 1955. This song's as old as me. It has been covered by a lot of people, but it's a song most people don't know. And there's a great video of Andy Williams and Henry Mancini together, I think with an orchestra. And if you listen to the original, there's a nice introduction, something like that. And then I believe the chords move to F. E minor and D minor. And then the song begins. And the reason I didn't play it all the way through is because the copyright algorithm will catch me if I do that. So, if you want to hear the song all the way through, go listen to one of the great recordings that are out there. There's a Diana Krall has an especially good one, I think. So you can follow along with the chart, and the best way to do this is to print out the chart. It's down there in the description, absolutely free, and then you can make little notes on it as to maybe how I played some of the chords and things like that. So we're going to start here in C major. When you see C major ninth, you got to think C major seventh, and the 9 is just, an added color tone, we could say. So this is a very simple closed voicing. Right? We've got all the notes of the chord down there. Now, a lot of jazz professionals will tell you not to play closed voicings, but if they sound good, I wouldn't do the whole song that way, but you can certainly give it a go. Now we can open it up a little bit, maybe by playing our root down here, 5th, 7th, 9th, 3rd. And now we've got a little bit of open space anyway. All right, G minor over C, and I just played it as G minor, so let me do this again. I think that's the best way to go. Let's just keep our C on the bottom as an octave or as a single note. Here's our G minor 9, and we're going to play it without the G. We could get that G in there maybe. And do it like that, or just this way. Next part. All right, G minor 9th with the 11. Now the melody note is the 11, so you don't really have to think about that. And the 9 is here. And you notice I didn't play it. It's certainly nice, but it's not something you have to play. And we have F sharp 7th. Once again, anytime you see a number bigger than 7, you have to assume that the 7 is there. It is really an F sharp 7th chord, right? And here's my root in 7th, 3rd. Once again, the easiest way to play this minor 9th over an F is to leave out the root. If you were playing it up like that, I guess you could put it in. But down here, there's not really any place to put it in. I can't reach it here, and then I'd have to have the 7th there. And that's a possibility, I suppose. But this way sounds better. So, you might make a little note on your chart, play E flat major 7th. And put it over an F. And that's what the slash means. The F is the bass note only. The right hand or the top chord symbol is the chord that's played. You're not playing an F chord underneath of it. It's just an F. All right. And F7 with a flat 9. If we went down to E flat there, it's the same chord, so we're just using a different bass note there if you want to. Now, so just keep that melody note on top as you move up to E flat minor 7th. And then you have the 9th there as that melody note. Okay, here's E minor 11. And I have the 9th in, the 11, the 3rd and the 7th. There's no 5th. Could put it in down there. But it's not necessary. 5ths are only really necessary if they're altered, like here. A7. I've got the root 7th and 3rd. There's the flat 5, and it's often called a sharp 11, so it's the same thing. And here. Now, I played it without the 3rd. It needs the 3rd, but the melody's going right to it, so the listeners could be a little in the dark without the 3rd, but they soon know that it's D minor 7th. Well, listeners don't know it's D minor 7th, but they understand the meaning of the song and the harmony of the song. Now, I could play this song and put in a lot of these little riffs in between, and that's what Henry Mancini does on the original recording, and also along with Andy Williams singing. And there's one point where the trumpet player comes in and plays a riff, and Henry Mancini looks up and gives them the death stare. This is Henry's spot to play. Trumpet player, sit down. So here's the song from the top with a bunch of little riffs. A little bit of reharmonization from Diana Krall. George Shearing, I think, went. Right. So the actual chord there, D minor, 9th. And then, you might recognize this as like a rootless voicing for a G7th, but if you use the tritone substitution, then you get a sharp 9 chord. It's still a dominant 7th chord, and it functions just like the G7, moving to C, but it's got that extra little bite to it. And it also says sharp 11, which, sharp 11, what's that? That's the G. Not really necessary, I don't think. Oh, well, it's the melody note, so it is necessary. Now the bridge is really special. I believe that's where she does that reharm, Diana Krall, that is. All right, I hope I put enough little riffs in there to sneak past the algorithm. Let's take a look at it. So F sharp minor 7 flat 5. That's this chord. And the 11th is there. And when we put, that's the melody note. And when we do that, sometimes it's nice to add that 9 to it, all right? It's not in the official scale for this chord. Well, it kind of is. And I will talk a little bit about improv on this. Okay, so it starts off with kind of a random set of changes. We're in the key of C, and actually a substitute, and many times a bridge of a song would go to this chord, F sharp minor 7 flat 5, and then B 7th, and then end up, maybe an E or something, and then the bridge is an E. But this song actually just starts on that chord, and then does a 2-5-1 into E minor. Right there, we've got a flat 9 and a sharp 5. So here's the flat 9, there's the sharp 5, also called a flat 13, and we're putting in the third of the chord, and it's like a C minor triad over a B. So, I know there's lots of chord symbols to remember, but if you see that particular chord symbol, a dominant 7th chord with a sharp 5 and a flat 9, all you do is you play the root in the 7th and then go up a half step and play a minor chord. C sharp minor, okay? But we're on B, so it's going to be that. And there's our melody note also. And here's E minor 9. All right, and that's our melody note. Notice how it looks like a G major 7th here. And we could put the major 7th in if you like. Moving right to the A7. Now here we have a flat 5 and a flat 9. And then you see the next chord symbol doesn't have the flat 5. So you got to think about a flat 5, an A7 chord with a flat 9, and then you flat the 5 and then unflat it. All right, so from the top of the bridge, and it coincides with the melody too. So to B minor, or if you like, just change one note right there, and now you've got D. All right, that's a D chord, and F sharp on the bass, and it would not hurt to have this E still in there. Or, change it to D if you like. And I always did the alternate here like that, but I think just going to F like that. There's the sharp 11, and then we start a musical exercise. We're going to go around the cycle of fifths, starting on G sharp to C sharp, F sharp, B, E, A, D, G, C. This is very similar to like Stella by Starlight. Now, does F13 sharp 11 flow into G minor 7 flat 5? Is that a smooth change, or is it just kind of a random jump that doesn't sound good? No, it's a smooth change that sounds good, and I'll show you my reasoning on it. If you take the F7, 9, sharp 11, 13 chord, all right, now leave off the F and look at all these notes here. That's A minor 7 flat 5 with some other stuff. And if you move that down just a half a step, everything moves a half a step. That's got to be smooth. And there's our G sharp minor 7 flat 5 right here. Our melody note, which is the 11th, and we're adding that major 9 in there because it sounds really cool. So, and here we go through the cycle of fifths, ending on the flat 5 right there. There's the flat 9. I don't think you really need it, but okay, here comes a F minor 7 flat 5, and once again I'll put in that beautiful 9. Here's a flat 9. All right, so these are the kind of notes jazz was invented on, you know. You got a flat 5, a flat 5, a flat 5 in the chord, a flat 5 on the melody. All right. Now I'm going to try to put those flat 9s in as well, so let's see what happens. Yeah, look, it's like a G major chord over a D flat, or C sharp rather. I'm just going to run through it real quickly and talk about which scales I would use to improvise. C major scale with passing notes any place. We're just going to add one flat, and we could have passing notes. And you know, the chromatic scale is always useful. You know, especially you know, little bends and things like that. All right, so once again, there's our scale for that. Now F sharp, that's the C altered scale, right? Because it's easier for me to think of it that way than to think of F sharp, Lydian, dominant. I just think of the C altered scale, and somebody said that it's like the B major scale, except you replace the B with a C. I never thought of it that way, but you know, it doesn't matter how you think about it. It's, you know, are you getting the result that you want? Whatever's easiest to think about, go for that. And then where are we going? Okay, we've got like F. Now C minor 9 over F is like an F suspended, really. So F mixolydian. And then, you know, thinking either F with the diminished scale, or E flat with the same diminished scale, and then into D minor. And then I would, whatever I did in D, I'd try to do it in E flat. I might not be successful, but I'd try. And then I might try it again in E minor. And I'm always going to aim for those flat 5s and those flat 9s. See, I hit the flat 5 there, and then the flat 9 there of G7, and then we're back to here again. Now, you know, that's just some of my accompaniment comping kind of tricks. It's a G minor, you know, using chordal voicings. Mostly chordal anyway. So when we get to the bridge, you know. If you really know your scales well, you see, you can pick all the little chords out of them. That kind of thing. And then, remember what I said, it's just down a half step, so I know this scale quite as well. It's got two major triads in it. It's two diminished ones. See, you got two diminished triads, two minor triads, a weird one, augmented, right? And then two major triads. So if you can think of all that real quickly, but the best thing is just to practice, that scale, like with stair-step motion. Or remember that it is what? Yeah, minor 7 flat 5. You look at the triad there, B minor. You think about this as being like a 6 of that triad, and then you just use B minor scale with the minor melodic ascending. So that's the scale. And a lot of times they used to write these chords as like B minor 6 rather than G sharp minor 7 flat 5, but it's the same chord. All right. And then you just got to take all this stuff through the cycle. It's a great exercise. So let's just do each scale on the chord. So B minor ascending. And then we're going to use a diminished scale. Another one. Now this is going to be A minor ascending. And let's go altered. All right, that way we're using all minor melodic ascending scales. So this is, G minor, we're going to use the third minor melodic ascending. And here we're going to use, we're going to go up a half step and do minor melodic ascending. Same with this one now. So if there's any classical players out there that have studied the melodic minor scale, this should be a walk in the park for you. Right. Now let me see if I can improvise using those scales. The easiest one I forget. Also on this song, I've been messing around with like improvising with my left hand.